Joining us in the studio is an assistant coach for the men's basketball team, and that, of course, is DK, Dwyane Killings. DK, how are you? Nice to see you again.
Great, man. Happy to be here.
Well, first off, have you ever seen a player shoot the way Devin Coleman did, making all 8 of his shots and going 7-7 from 3? He was in fuego yesterday, Coach.
Nah, he was great yesterday. He was like our Steph Curry yesterday. Everything he threw up was going in. He gave us a lot of confidence. He was locked in. I thought he stepped up big for Jalen. I was really happy for Dev, because it's his senior year. You want to see him have those special moments, and he had one of them yesterday.
Really, there was one shot. I think it was one of the 3-pointers in the second half. There were so many you can't remember exactly which one was which, but he took a step back, really, and it was from Khalif Wyatt range. Did he remind you a little bit of Khalif yesterday?
A little bit. He had one in the first half. It was deep. I think we were all like, what do you do? Oh, good shot. You know what I mean? It turned out pretty good. He was in the flow, though. It was awesome.
I know that feeling, actually, because once I'm a big man, I don't usually shoot the basketball, but I took a shot just in front of the 3-point line once. My coach screamed no to me, and then I made it, and I said, shh, Coach, be quiet, please.
Gotta love those moments.
Just real quickly here, Devin Coleman, he's a senior, transferred from Clemson, excellent player, obviously, and he started to, in the beginning of the year, was in the starting lineup, and now he's coming off the bench. Just how unselfish of a player is he?
He's just a great kid. I think and the big thing for him and for all of our seniors, they just want to win. They want to find a way to get back to the tournament. They want to have the best team we can be. So I think, when we made the decision to have him come off the bench, he gets it, and he's stepping right into his role. And one of the things he does that's great for us, he gives us scoring off the bench. And having that kind of threat is huge. I think he's just a selfless kid that just wants to step up and find a way to help his team.
Fran isn't really loquacious about this. He always says, I would love to tell you I'm some mastermind or something like that. But it's just really remarkable in these last 8 years how many top 25 teams this program has taken down. What's the secret behind having all this success, being able to take down teams like a Duke, a Syracuse, a Kansas, and then SMU yesterday?
I think the big thing for what we try to do is coaches does a great job preparing the team, building confidence in them and getting them to compete at a high level. And I think the kids, the big part of them coming here is they dream of playing those games, and then they understand what it takes to step up. And, it was funny yesterday, had Khalif, Ramon, Will, they're all, texting and tweeting to our current players because they've stepped into those moments, and the guys that we have saw them do it. So they understand what it means for the team, what it could mean to play into March. So they understand the opportunity, and I think Coach just knows how to move the pieces to help us be in position to win those games.
We're talking to one of the assistant coaches on the Temple men's basketball team, and that's Dwyane Killings. And Dwyane, at that first media timeout, a lot of shots weren't going down. It didn't seem at all like Temple was going to be able to put up 89 points in regulation. What in-game adjustments were made? Because once that second media timeout came, or by the time of the second media timeout, you guys started to drain a couple more shots.
I think just settling into the game. I think, you don't have Jalen on the floor is a little bit different. You put Obi back in the starting lineup. Trey Lowe playing a big game for the first time in his career. So just kind of getting those jitters out, getting in the flow, get the ball moving, get the sweat feeling. And then really we just kind of talked about what they were doing defensively. So now they saw it, they felt it, made a couple different adjustments, ran a couple plays, got a couple open looks. Then all of a sudden, you see the ball go through the basket, your confidence starts feeling good. The basket gets a little bit bigger, and now we're rolling. And I thought, once we started executing a little bit, our guys started to see and feel that we could win the game. And then from there, it's just, playing our game plan and just getting out there and playing and trusting each other.
We mentioned that Jalen Bond didn't play at all in the game. Was it known prior to the game, or was he going to be a game time decision and just see where he would be? Because I didn't see him warm up at all, even.
Yeah, he tried to get out there and warm up a little bit. His back was stiffening up a little bit. It was going to be a game time decision. He tried to give it a go, but wasn't ready. But luckily for us, our guys stepped up. I thought Devontae Watson was huge in the game. I thought everybody contributed some way, shape, or form when they got out on the floor, which is great for us. And that's what a team's about. It's just next man up, trying to find a way to fill in the holes and find a way for us to win the game. And I thought our guys were tremendous yesterday.
I know there's still a couple more games remaining in this season, so we don't want to project too far ahead. But how high is Josh Brown's ceiling? Because each game he seems to get better and better, especially yesterday. I think his defense was some of the best that I've seen him play all season long.
Yeah, playing against Nick Moore is going to be a huge challenge, for Josh. I think he knew it. And I think when he defends the ball, I thought one of the things that Will did for us last year is, he made it hard for guys to get in the paint. I think Josh starting to do the same thing. And when you can do do that to the team's point guard, it just disrupts their play. And I think he's playing with great confidence, each game that gets under his belt, and he wants to win. I think that's a huge piece to who he is. He wants to compete, but he wants to win the game at the end. I think it's huge for him, and he's still a young player, so he's still starting to learn. He's got the keys to the car, and so to speak, and he's learning on the job. I think he's doing a fantastic job. In a lot of ways, we have great leadership from Jaylen Bond, but I think we get a lot of our energy, a lot of our confidence, and we kind of get the ball rolling a little bit through Josh. I think he gives us a lot of who we are as well. I think he's been tremendous.
Getting back to Jaylen Bond, what's his status for Wednesday versus ECU?
I think we just take it day by day, right now, see how he is when he gets in. He had some treatments. We'll see how he feels. He knows his body, and we'll react off of that.
We're talking with Dwyane Killings right now. Temple gets the big win over number 8 SMU yesterday. They go to 11-7 on the season, 5-2 in the conference. Quinton DeCozy's been in double figures a lot this year. He was a big focal point for this team going into the season. They would need him to produce like this night in and night out with some of the guys that you did lose last year. What did Q work on in the offseason, and why do you think we're finally seeing the results consistently with him?
I think it's just a mindset. I think Q's always had the talent. He's a kid that's blessed with a lot of God-given talent and athletic ability. It's just about applying it every single day. And that's one of the challenges I think we try to give to him is just be the same guy every day on both ends of the floor. And I think he's starting to get it in a lot of ways because he's a senior. He wants to go out on a high note, with his career and do some special things for himself and for his teammates. And I think of the world of Q, I think he can be, one of the best players in this league if he wants to be. And I think the challenge is not so much him working on his skills, it's just him deciding to go out there and put his prints all over the game on both sides of the ball.
And I would have to imagine a big part of that is coaches really pushing him and challenging him in these final few games of the season as you have some few tough conference games left and even that big Villanova game out of the conference. What do you want to challenge Quinton DeCozy?
Just be the best Q that he can be. He's got to score the basketball. I think for us to be good, he's going to be one of our scoring leaders, obviously. He can take over a game. He can get us a big bucket. He can hit the game winner if he needs to. He can do a little bit of everything. And the other part of it is him defending on the other end of the floor. And I think he's starting to take those challenges. He's going to have them every single night because he's one of the guys they're going to put on their, on the other team's whiteboard that they got to stop in order for them to win games. And he's got to find a way to adjust and find ways to put his prints on it. But most importantly, him getting in the paint, making plays, and also he can make plays for his teammates. And I think he's starting to do both of those things.
Something really remarkable about this coaching staff is you guys really push players and develop players. Every minute is really earned. There's times in years past where we didn't see freshmen play, and the next thing you know, they're dominating in their junior and senior year. Obi got those minutes early on last year and played really well in that NIT semifinal game up against Miami. Now with Obi, he's been a little bit inconsistent, a little bit of a sophomore slump this year. What do you guys need to do to get him going in the right direction and be that consistent player? Because he does have that God-given talent you were talking about with Quinton.
Yeah, I think, he has a huge, huge ceiling. And I think one of the things with Obi is just confidence. And I think that's one of the things we talk to him all the time is he can do whatever he wants on the floor also. It's just him believing in it. I thought he had a great drive where he got to the free throw line early in the first half. He put his head down, got to the rim, got to the free throw line. He got some open shots. I think there's still points where, he passes up some shots. Sometimes you want to be a little bit more selfish, but he's such a great teammate that sometimes I think he's always looking for other guys as well. But he's starting to make some steps, and I thought yesterday he had a little bit more aggression. I thought he had a little bit more fire in his eyes, which is great to see. Now you want to build off it game by game.
Do you think he's still trying to find his way from behind the arc and then also in the post and just find a good balance of that?
Yeah, for sure. I think, we're challenging him to score the ball more in the post. He has the ability to, take guys off the dribble a little bit from the perimeter, and he can make shots on the perimeter. I think it's just understanding how to balance it all and when to do, when not to do, when he has the matchup, when he doesn't. And I think he's starting to see it, but we're going to need him. And, we're going to call his number a bunch of times. He's got to step up and make plays.
Now, last Wednesday, Temple beat LaSalle in what was the first doubleheader in Big Five play since 2004. You never got to play in Big Five play, but just can you walk us through a couple of emotions that were happening on that day? I
thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a really good crowd, Wednesday. And I thought the best part of it was just seeing, some of the old-timers come out on the floor. You take a peek in between timeouts and being there for part of the second game. Just seeing some of the names, some of the history, and just how proud people were. I thought there was a lot of just natural Big Five fans that came out for the game, just wanted to see, the team, see the past players, be back in the palestra. It's a pretty cool moment, and I think it's cool for our guys to see some of the guys that came from before them, just to appreciate the opportunity they have in front of them a little bit more.
Now, whenever you bring up Big Five, you can't help but bring up who my co-host Zach Gelb loves to call Mr. Big Five, and Fran Dunphy, who obviously played at LaSalle, coached at Penn, and now here he is at Temple.
Has a degree from Villanova as well. No love for St. Joe's, I guess.
Who also they beat LaSalle yesterday, so a couple more Big Five play. But coaching under Fran Dunphy, being that assistant coach, when he gets up and he starts clapping his hands and he gets angry, we're a little bit away from that bench. But how do the guys respond? Because there are a couple of times where he's seated and it seems like he's cool, calm, collected, and then there are other times where Mark Williams might throw the basketball out of bounds. He catches that ball, and you see him grasping onto that ball. What's it like just coaching under Fran Dunphy?
Well, Mark threw it to him on a dime. I thought Coach was going to shoot it when he threw it to him, but
doesn't have the eligibility anymore, I guess.
I don't know if he has the range anymore. But I think what Coach does great is get the guys' attention, get their spirit, and really drive them to be better and be in a lot of ways be a bigger and stronger, faster team than they think they can be. And I think that's his job is really to maximize their talent, maximize their opportunity, and provide them with great opportunities. I think it's a really cool experience just to see him in his moment, in his element, because he's so driven, but he's so much about those kids and trying to maximize the opportunity. In a lot of ways, he's so much about Temple. He wants not only the kids to have a great time, but the people in the stands in the arena. I think a lot of times, when we lose games, he takes it really hard because he feels like he let down so many people. So we really just try to push the guys the best that we can. But he does what he does, and he's so great at it because he's got such a passion for not only the game, but for the people, all the people that are involved in the university, all the people that are on the floor.
Dwyane Killings is here with us, WHIP Radio in Philadelphia. This has really been one bizarre season. You open up the year a little bit slow. There was some raw talent headed into this year with some freshmen that you're expecting big minutes out of. And now you have taken down 3 top 25 teams in Cincinnati, UConn, and then SMU the other day. What do you just think the identity of this team is right now, if you had to tell us?
I think we're really versatile. I thought early in the year, if we could play those games again, I think they would be different. I don't know if we were quite ready to win those games, just with, like you said, we had some young guys on the floor, some guys in some new roles that they weren't used to. So really understanding every possession is really important, understanding what we're trying to do offensively and defensively. I think now, we're growing day by day. And in reality, you want to play your best basketball late, not early. You want to peak late in the season. I think guys are really, really starting to understand who they are, what their roles are, what they can do on the floor, what they're capable of doing. So I think we're starting to gel. We're starting to get a little bit momentum. But the biggest thing is we got to stay hungry. You can't become complacent. You look like you got a win like this, but now we got to go down to ECU and we got to handle our business there and keep building step by step.
Take me through the strengths and weaknesses of that raw talent, those 3 freshmen right now in Ernest, Trey, and Levan.
Yeah, I thought, early in the year, I think Trey has again, he's another guy like Obi and like Hugh. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of God-given ability. Now he has to understand how to apply it. Just high school is just so different. For so many of these guys, they can do pretty much whatever they want. Now it's a little bit different. You're not playing against 15, 16, 17-year-olds. You're playing 18, 19, 21, 22-year-olds that have, battle-tested. I think he's starting to see it. He's making his prints on the game. Every game you look back, and he made a play that really helped us get some momentum every game we played. Look at the LaSalle game. Look at yesterday's game. Levan's a great ball handler, great basketball IQ. He can make shots. I think he's starting to still trying to find his role with the squad, but I think he does some great things, and he's always ready. And the biggest thing with Ernest, he's still really raw, but what he does is he competes and he plays hard, and that's hard to find. It's hard to match. You play against some big guys. Kid Tolbert yesterday trying to back him down, and Ernest is standing right there. He's like a wall. And I think it makes a big statement early, and he's really helped us really kind of set our foundation for the game since he's been playing. But what I love about those 3 guys is, they want to play more, as they should. You want them to want to play more. You want them to want to start. That should be their dream. But they've always stayed ready. That's what we love about them. They come into practice every day. They work. They try to learn, and they just want to play. And when their numbers call, they go out there and they give everything they got.
With any freshman in college, if you're a basketball player or not, there's always that transition period, and there's some distractions out there. You have to balance your life between schoolwork, fun, and then, of course, athletics. When you have a freshman that comes in, what's your first message to them when they step foot on this campus?
I think listen. Listen is the first thing. Listen, understand, balance. Make sure you get rest, time management. But rest, I think, is a big thing. Just because college comes at you so many different ways, like you said. in the reality, they still want to try to be students. You try to tell them that they're different, but they want to be students in terms of the social aspect, and they should have some fun to some degree. But basketball's going to take a lot out of them. Strength training is going to take a lot out of them. Academics, study hall, it's a lot. You're doing a lot in 24 hours, so you have to make sure you have a great balance. Because if not having the rest piece catches up with them in the long run, and that's going to impact what they really want to do is be on the floor and play basketball. So it's really just balancing everything out. They're going to get pulled in a lot of directions, and just kind of quieting the distractions that they're going to have. It's a lot. Today's world's a lot different for these kids with social media and just the lives that they're living. So it's really balancing and keeping their head on straight. And, when you have success, still keep your head down and keep working, because you got another test coming up.
Wrapping up here with Temple men's basketball assistant coach in Dwyane Killings. And again, big win yesterday against SMU. You mentioned it a little bit, but how do they make sure there's not a letdown against ECU upcoming this week?
Yeah, we'll have practice later on today, and we'll talk about it. Thinking back a few years ago, I think we beat Duke, and then we had a home game, and we lost to Dayton. And I thought we had some momentum. I thought we had a good team. I thought we were doing some good things. We lost that game, and it hurt. I think it was Khalif's junior or senior. I can't remember. But just talking about those experiences, again, I think it's important that these kids think about and look at some of the things the teams did before them. So, we have some momentum. We're playing great basketball. We're doing some really good things. Now you don't want to hurt it just by, not doing your job. And I think we talk about it on an individual basis, but then a team basis. If everybody steps up and does what they're supposed to do, and we do everything as a team, we'll be fine. But ECU is a good team. They just beat Memphis yesterday. They had a good road win. They're going to be confident. They play better at home. So we got to go handle our business on the road.
What do you think it's going to take for this conference to get respect? Because really, you guys were not respected last year. You should have been in the tourney. You guys, to me, passed my eye test. I don't know what Scott Barnes was thinking that. But how does this conference gain respect?
I think in a lot of ways, it's still new. You know what I mean? You need some crazy game that goes to triple overtime, and it's on TV. The conference tournament has to have some drama. People get sucked into it. They get sucked into the storylines, and I think all of a sudden that's where it starts. So you have to create a couple rivals. You don't want two coaches running a half court choking each other, but you need something for people to suck into. And I think once that happens, then it starts building out to an identity. But there's great coaches in the league, really good players, really good teams, and I think it's just a matter of time before people really realize what the conference is capable of, and also what it has. Because night in and night out, there's some really good players on the floor, and the teams that can compete deep into March.
Before we let you run, as Dwyane Killings is here with us, as much as I wanted you guys to win yesterday, I wanted the Patriots to win, as I know you are a Patriots fan, just like myself, although we were talking about that before, as you went to UMass and you're from Massachusetts. How about that game yesterday and the way Peyton Manning goes out there? Didn't really do much, but that Denver defense was at Tom Brady all day.
Yeah, they were. They made some big plays, and that's what it's about, especially this time of year in the NFL and college basketball and NBA, whatever it is, just about making plays and stepping up big. Watching that second game yesterday, one of the Cardinals defensive guys try to make a huge play and try to get some momentum for his team, and end up going, the other way against him. And they made him, I thought the Panthers made him pay, I should say. But, it hurt a lot for Patriots Nation yesterday, because I think everybody thought, Tom Brady was going to make a huge play, or something great was going to happen. There was going to be more time on the clock. Something was going to work out in our favor, but it didn't. But I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl. Right now, I think I'm going to have to go with the Panthers. I'm pretty impressed by
They're
Cam
red
Newton.
hot.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by him. We actually showed some clips of him and just his mentality to how he approaches his work to our team a couple days ago. Chris Clark showed it to him. And I'm just really impressed by who he is, how he approaches things. I think he's going to be tough to stop.
It's really amazing, too, how much crap people go out there and give Cam Newton for celebrating and giving balls to children. It's like, can people have a little bit of fun? If you don't want him to celebrate, just don't let him score. How about that? And also, you bring up a player like Cam and what he could teach your kind of players and that stuff, and no one's going to be crying for us Patriot fans here in Philadelphia because they want a Super Bowl desperately. But how much do you really learn when you watch other sports, and how much can you bring that back to a team like Temple and teach them from things you say?
I think it's all the little things. Why are these guys successful? I think even if it's not even just athletes, it could be business. Why are they good at what they do? I think you can always learn from those things. Coach is great about that. We show clips of, 2020 clips, 60 minutes, whatever it may be, just to our guys, to give them the mindset of, why are people having the success that they're having, and how can we attribute it to our team? And I think Cam's a guy, you know, he's very vibrant. He's got a big, bright personality, catches our guys' attention. And I thought the big thing that the message that he was sending in the video was just about effort. You know, it's about maximizing your effort when you hit the playing field. And I think our guys really, really took the message, and I thought it carried over to the game this past weekend. We'll continue to do it. And he's a fun guy to watch. And I think, you know, for anybody, you can always take things from different people. I'll take things from you because you're a good, successful guy. Too, so.
Well, we appreciate that. DK, thank you so much for coming in, and best of luck, and congrats on the victory once again.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.